Hello everyone! Today's painting playtime is painting this simple witch using a fun technique to create a textured skirt. Using a dark color like Payne's Gray or Indigo or a mixture of red, blue, and yellow, paint the first layer of her hat as one shape and also paint her top. Drop in some purples and pinks to vary the shade. As you are painting the top, paint around her hair so that we can fill it in later with another color. And now with clear water, wet the paper from her waist down and drop in pigment. We want a fair amount because it will get dispersed by the plastic wrap or cling film. You can add any colors you want here. I stuck with blues and purples and neutrals. But it would be really pretty with some purples or pinks. Any color you want. I had to redo that part of her top because a drop of water fell off of my paintbrush onto it. Back to adding more pigment. Don't be afraid to add a lot. I'm tapping it in. And now you're ready to add the cling film. I have used this technique before on rocks, but I learned to use it like this from Julie Artie here on YouTube. She had a ballerina tutorial that I did, and I thought of it for this witch. Once you get it in place and you're satisfied with where it is, you can put a book on top of it and let it dry. And the moment has arrived. Remove the book and remove the cling film, and ta-da! You have a really pretty tulle material skirt. And now I'm filling in the hair. I chose red hair, but you can choose purple hair, blue hair, green hair, it doesn't matter. Any hair you want. And while it's drying, I'm going to put a layer on her hand. Little shadow. And then just varying the color a little bit with some darker red color. This is a really pale mixture of quinacridone rose and yellow with a tiny bit of blue. You could also mix yellow ochre and quinacridone rose, or you can do a tan color. And here I am adding some darker wisps of hair. And then as that's drying, I'll paint another layer on her hand. And then if you need to, add more pigment to the hat. And remember to add the purples and pinks while it is wet. And then do the same thing to her top. Using a stiff bristled brush, lift some highlights out of her hair. I'm using a Rosemary & Co. Eradicator brush, size small. And then I'm going to lift some highlights off of her hand using this oil paintbrush. It was real cheap, and I cut it down with some scissors to make a small eradicator brush, I guess. We just need enough taken off to suggest her knuckles. And then we'll go back over her wrist with some pigment to give her hand some contour. I'm painting her fingernail a bright red and giving her a spider ring. And then one last layer on the hat, just to emphasize the cone shape. And then I want to clean up the line on the bottom of the hat that's next to her hair. So I very carefully go over that. And then soften the line. Now it's dry. I just want to lift the right side of the cone. And for the background, I thought it would be fun to suggest that she's making a potion. So I'm going to wet a streak of the paper from her right side up to the right corner and then drop in some green pigment. And drag some of that out to the dry paper to create wisps. Now I have some darker green on my brush, and I'm just tapping it to get some more pigment into, I guess, the middle part of the green. So there's a variation in color, and maybe it'll make some cauliflowers. Doing the same thing to her left, to suggest that the pot of potion is right in front of her. Take off the tape once it's all dry. I hope you liked this video. Happy Halloween!